In this video, I'm gonna take the current Dodge Charger and add some of that more proper muscle car design to it. Specifically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the front end of a 1968 and morph it into the current Charger. It's not gonna be easy. We're gonna have to work a lot with graphics and also proportions, but it's gonna be a lot of fun to do that. So let's jump into Photoshop here and let's get started with this redesign. So Dodge objective with the first 1966 Charger was to try to make an upscale, bigger pony car. The Marlin, marketed as a personal car and filling an emerging market void, was a vehicle that American Motors had already produced back in 1965 that was extremely similar and saw great success and sales number. Then you had the upscale Mercury Cougar, which was both larger and more opulent than the Ford Mustang. And this car popularized the pony car idea in 1964, and it was also a huge success. So of course, Dodge wanted to get in on this segment. Instead of trying to compete with other muscle cars, the Charger was to be a more expensive and luxurious coupe. It was aimed at the same market segment as the Oldsmobile Tornado and the Ford Thunderbird. The iconic 1968 Dodge Charger was drastically different from the earlier iterations, beginning with the overhauled exterior design. It got a lot more muscle for the 68 model. The front end featured a black grille, round marker lights were present on the sides, and the Charger had round tail lights for the 68 Charger at the rear end. And this second generation, which was built between 1968 and 70, had some few minor updates specifically to the graphic design, the front end grille and the taillights, before regulations and insurance policies put an end to the movement. Dodge said its final goodbye to the muscle car era in 1971 with the third generation of the Charger. The third generation of the Charger attempted a comeback with faster quarter-mile times and better handling ratings, despite having a name that was already well known on the streets. Dodge added headlights, washer, front and rear stabilizer bars, and a more luxurious interior to the list of things that came with the car. The Charger had now also a shorter wheelbase and overall length from the outside. In 1974, the muscle car era was completely over, and Dodge now had a problem because now they had to focus on different customers to sell the Charger. And because of this, the manufacturer decided to turn the renowned car into a high-end personal coupe, and it was very hard to switch from muscle cars to luxury cars because customers wanted big muscles and a V8 engine, not a comfortable two-door sedan with lots of extras. So let's have a look at this redesign and what is going on with this design. This was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be, because when you add a 70s or 69 front end to a modern car, it's going to mess up the proportions, specifically the overhang in the front. If you look at the overhang on the current Charger, it's very short compared to a 70s or 69 Charger. So what I had to do was, first of all, transform this front end graphics and make it more boxy, obviously, and then all the lines around that needs to fit this new front end. So by stretching out the overhang in the front, it gives me space to design this more boxy overall front end. And I also wanted to change the wheels. Obviously, that's something I'm gonna do almost at the very end of this video. But the main issue here was to get everything more boxy, because I think the current Charger, it feels almost too stylized to be a muscle car, at least in my opinion. But it feels also that Dodge is coming back with a proper muscle car designs. You can tell that by just looking at for example, the Dodge Daytona electric concept. Yes, it's electric. Yes, it has some noise to it, which I think is pretty cool, because the noise is actually coming from something that's happening in the motors. It's just not fake noise. But if you focus on design on the Daytona concept, I think that is definitely the right direction for Dodge to go. Bring back some muscle car feel into the design, and specifically if you're gonna make it an EV. You already lost the V8. They're not gonna be a big rumbling, shaky, noisy V8 under the hood anymore. So what can we do to compensate for that? What they did was to bring back almost a modernization of the 70s Charger and put that into a four-door proportions and package for the Daytona concept. And I think that was a very good decision by Dodge to do that. And I honestly think that EV is actually going to sell very well, because look at EVs today. You see a lot of EVs having a lot of bean-shaped designs and focusing all on slipperiness and range. But I would much rather see manufacturers bring back old designs and modernize them in such a cool way, like the Daytona concept and the Hyundai and Vision 74 concept as well. I really hope that they build that car. But by doing that, you kind of make up a little bit for the lack of power and muscle underneath the hood. So I think this redesign turned out really cool. As I said, I had to work a lot on the proportions on the front end, also raise it up a little bit and square it off properly, and also make a new shoulder line that cuts into the corner of this new graphic that we have in front end, and also by adding some new wheels that kind of symbolizes the old 5 spokes from the 60s and the 70s, but in a new way, obviously. I think that looks really cool as well. This is probably something we're never going to see from Dodge, at least not with a V8 under the hood, because they're on their last call challengers now, and the Chargers as well. 2023 is going to be the last year when they actually sell these muscle cars, which is a shame because they've been selling so well. I mean, the Challenger came out in its current form, I think in 2007 or 2008, with a minor update or a facelift to the front end graphics, the headlights and the taillights, and that's pretty much it. It has the same design from 2007 all the way up to 2023, and it still outsells the Mustang and the Camaro, which had several updates, major updates done to them over those same years. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.